Hey everybody, Sister Fantastic here, and today's video is going to be about contouring. And so today I've already got my foundation on. I took in a layer of the Wet n Wild cream foundation, the Coverall cream foundation, and I'm going to lay down some concealer now. And contouring is just about highlights and lowlights and creating shadows on your face, and to carve out like places on your cheeks that you want to emphasize, to create a shape on your cheek, to cause places that you know, you don't really care for, like, you know, my neck is thick and so I want that to recede, and so I'm going to, you know, use contouring for that. You can use contouring as a crease, you know, for your eyeshadow. If you have a large forehead, you know, like mine, you can put contouring around the sides to kind of, you know, get that to kind of recede back. And so that's what contouring is. It's about shading and shadowing, and then of course the other side of contouring is the highlights. And so I'm going to use some of this this is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in number 10. It's the 10 Light is the shade, and so I'm just going to create some highlights on my face. And the way that I do it is I always do the highlights on, as far as concealer goes, first, and then if I'm going to use a powder, I lay all my creams down, and then if I'm going to use a powder to contour with, I get, you know, I set my concealer and my foundation with a setting powder first before I go in with contouring. So anyway, a little bit of highlight here. We'll try to contour the nose a little bit today, the Cupid's bow. Alright, so I've got a wet beauty blender here, and we're just going to go right in with that and just stipple this into the skin on top of that foundation. Turn this around. And without getting this into the tear duct of my eye, I just want to blend this down the sides of my nose where there's, you know, to cover up any kind of hormonal redness, and blend this up underneath the eye to cover the dark circles and to bring a lift to the eye by bringing the highlight up around the sides of the eye. And this is going to create that light and brightness that we need for the eyes. And so when you think about contouring, you think about like a heart shape, you know, around the main features of your face. And so this is the part that, you know, the highlights of your face that you want to bring forth, and then everything else around that perimeter is going to be where you would bronze and do your contouring and so forth. And so that's how you have to think about it. And the best rule of thumb is to use a contouring shade, a highlight shade in the concealer shade that's 1 or 2 shades lighter than your skin color. And this is really close to my skin color right here, this 10 Light, and it's not really quite light enough. And so I like to go in with something that's just a little bit lighter than that. So I have this concealer here from my Muse palette. I've got this one here, which is lighter than my skin tone, and then this one right here, which is really bright. It's like a light yellow. So I'm going to use that light yellow today, and I'm just going to dab this on where the shadow of my circle is, and we're just going to bring this down into like a triangle shape, and we're just going to create that brightness. A little bit around the nose. And if you feel like you need, you know, some more concealer, like around the sides of your mouth, you know, by all means, you know, just put this on and create that brightness. A little bit of brightness here. And so anyway, sometimes I use two, 3 concealers, depending on what my needs are for that particular day. My needs are kind of unique. I've got some redness on this side of my face. It's like I'm warm there or something. And So anyhow, I wanted to use a pretty good foundation, one that, you know, provides at least a medium coverage. Not so much worried about doing this today as I am the coverage, so that's why I chose my Wet n Wild. Alright, so you just make sure and blend that in really good. And then you can move on with your setting powder. Okay, so since I used the Wet n Wild foundation, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Coverall Compact Pressed Powder. And I'm just going to set this makeup down by using a flat brush. So it's just the AOA Studio high definition brush. It's the F1. It's a flat top. And I just, you know, swirl around. And I like for my nose especially to be, you know, matte. The T-zone of my face, you know, I like for all this to be really good and matte. And then of course up underneath the eyes. Set that concealer down so it won't crease. Okay. And this is the shade Light Medium. So it's made for us pale beauties. Alright. So now what I want to do is I want to go in with a little bronzer. And today I'm going to be using the Giove Sun Glow Shimmer Bronzer. And this is a matte bronzer. And as you can see, it's kind of dark, so I want to use a light touch with this today. So I'm just going to take this Luxie brush, the steel fiber brush, and I'm just going to kind of swirl that around a little bit and tap it off and just kind of warm up my skin a little bit. So just think about it in the letter E. Just going from the forehead down across the cheek area and then back around and down onto the side of the face and the neck. And then of course for the other side it's going to be like a backward E. And I just use circular motions. And I'm not interested in creating a really dark color here at all. I just want to, you know, enhance the natural color of my skin and just warm it up so I won't look so pale. Alright, now there's a couple of different ways you can contour. You could take, before you set your powders and everything down, you could take a creamy product like this dark concealer that I have here, which is kind of a warm color. You really want a cooler color than this because that's a little bit too warm. But anyway, you could take a cooler concealer type cream product, and then, you know, you could pat that in right there in the hollow of your cheek and create like a triangle shape. Or what you could do is wait until after you've laid your powder down and then go in with a cool colored powder product and just put the powder on top of the powder, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to use this. This is a face powder, and I like using this color by Malibu Glitz. It's in the color medium, and I'm going to use it on a dense brush, and I'm just going to go right in there. And because this is not that, it's only a shade or two darker than my skin, and I don't have to be afraid to get in there and create that hollow. That's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to create a hollow here. And when you think about shading, you know, cooler tone browns create a better shadow because they don't draw the light. You know, it's a more of a blue toned brown. And if you've ever dyed Easter eggs, you know that when you put all the colors together, you get like a yucky grayish brown color. And anyhow, just playing around with the colors, you know, you learn that brown is a combination of red and blue and yellow. Alright, so if you want a cooler toned brown, it's going to have more blue in it. Where if you want a warmer toned brown, it's going to have more of a yellow in it. And so that's what I mean when I say more of a blue toned brown, because you want to create that shadow. You know, you're not really looking for, you know, a dark dense color or anything. You just want a shadow, just to kind of cause that part of your cheek that's really full to kind of, you know, cave in a little bit and sink in. And then that way when you put your blush on and your highlight, you're creating this rounded effect, and this part of your face is more slender. And then you could take, you know, this dense brush, and you can just really blend this really good, you know. And that's the secret, you know, where there's not a, you don't want a hard line right there. You just want to blend it out. So the way I like to think about it is I create that line, and then I kind of bring it up a little bit and do like a triangle shape. And then I just kind of go in circles and I blend it out. And so that's what helps me. And then if I want to contour the sides of my forehead, you know, I can get up in here and lay some of the product down right there in the temple of my forehead, and keep my forehead from looking so wide. So what I'm trying to do is slim down the sides of my face, and then of course down here on my neck. So the jawline, you can do the jawline specifically. See, I have this little bit of flesh right there. I'm going to kind of hide that, so I'm going to go right there underneath my chin and right through that bit of flesh and just kind of create that line, and then just work my way down. And you have to decide, you know, for yourself what is best for your face shape and what your needs are. So to keep me from looking like a round face seal, this is what I do to help me. Alright, and just take it down on the neck. And so then when you have your, you know, your pictures made, you know, the light is going to bring the center part of your face out, and then the outside perimeter of your face is going to recede back. Okay, so now that I've done that with that product, what I'd like to do is take it just a little step further, and I have another contouring product that I like to use in my pretty paint box. This is my Tarte pretty paint box that I got for my birthday last year, and there's a bunch of eyeshadows in here. There's 24 eyeshadows, and then there's also a blush, a highlighter, and 2 contouring shades, which one of them is warmer toned and one of them is cooler toned. So I want to go into this cooler tone here, right here on the end, and I'm just gonna continue to work. I'm building the color on my cheek. So I just want to, I'm going to take see how that comes to a point? I'm going to take the pointed end of that, just the pointed end, because this is pretty pigmented. And I'm just going to kind of just lay this down. And then I'll blend away. Because I don't want to, you know, you don't want to overdo it, because you don't want stripes to be on your face. You don't want to look unnatural. So the key is, you know, building the color, not putting too much product down all at one time. You kind of have to think about it like eyeshadow. You know, if you go straight in with a black and you just, you know, you're going to look like a panda bear, you know. But if you have other colors like a lighter brown and then a darker brown, and then, you know, and you get deeper and deeper into the crease, and then you use the black to define the corner, then, you know, you can get away with using black and not, you know, look like a raccoon or a panda bear. So anyhow, that's what we're doing here. We're just creating shadows, building color, and contouring with powders. And this is, to me, this is the most effective way to contour. But I have done it with creams before, and it works really nice, you know, but it's just not my favorite. Alright, so I'm just going in with this just a little bit deeper, and then, you know, down the sides of the throat. And then you can just take a an eyeshadow brush. You can use one that has an edge to it. I have this one right here, which is, I think it's made for eyebrows, but I like it because it's small and I can get, you know, a precise. So anyway, I'm just going to take a little bit of that same color, and I'm going to just go down from my eyebrow down the sides of my nose, and where you see this place right through here, this part of my nose right here, that's the part I really want to slim up. And I'm not really slimming my nose, I'm just creating the illusion of a slimmer nose. And that way when I take pictures, my nose doesn't look as wide. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a blending brush and I'm just going to blend that. And that way you don't have like stripes down your nose. Okay, so we're just gonna set that palette aside. Continue to blend right here. Alright, and then once you get that down, then you can go in with some powder, like some white powder. I've got some white powder here, and I like to use this. You can use a brush like this, or whatever kind of brush you like. And you can go in right underneath this contour, above, and we're just gonna define this. I'm so flushed today. Anyway, we're just defining this. And we can, you know, lay some powder down in those places where we highlighted. Down the center of our nose. Right there on the top of our chin. And I'm not baking here, I've just got some white powder that I wanted to use to help brighten that up. So you see between the concealers and the you know, the lighter colors and the darker colors, you know, in both cream and powder products, you can get the effect. So we're just adding an element of crispness. Ooh, that powder's just going everywhere. But I love this powder right here. This is made by Chanel. And it smells good. And you can take a little bit of this on your under your brow. Okay. So then once you get through with all of that, you know, you can go back in with your face brush, and you can just kind of, you know, just blend everything in. That way there's no harsh lines. Alright, and then once you do that, then you're ready for your blush and your highlighter. And so while we're here today working on this, let me get my blush brush out. And I'm going to go in with this Manicatar Paradise Blush. It's like a really pretty bright coral. I'm using my Luxie blush brush. Right there on the apples of my cheeks. I'm just taking it back. Alright. And now for a little highlighter. I'm going to use my Nicole Guierro highlighting kit today. From Anastasia Beverly Hills. This product here. And I tell you what, I like all these colors so much. But today, since I'm trying to go for a natural look, I'm going to go in with Forever Young, which is this one right up here. So let me find a really light brush. Let me use this one right here. This is by this is a crown brush, and it's a dual fiber brush. And I'm just gonna get a little bit right there on the end of my brush, right here on the. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going in right here on the end of my brush, and we're just going to strobe this onto the high points, and then blend it in. And so you can see just a beautiful highlight. So we've got the contour, the blush, and then the highlight. And we're just strobing this on. I don't want to create a blinding highlight, but I do want to, you know, I do want the light to be able to hit that. And make that the high point of my cheek, which it is the high point of my cheek. So, but I want to emphasize it a little bit right here on the nose, top of my forehead, Cupid's bow, and maybe a tiny little bit right here on the brow bone. Okay, and this is completely buildable, so you can see this side right here has got a little bit more of a punch to it than this side over here, so I'm going to add a little bit more back here. And blend that in. Okay. Now that, my friends, is contouring. So I've got highlights and lowlights going on. I've got blush, a little bit of color from the bronzer, and of course my foundation and the concealers are working together with the powder to you know, hold everything down. And so now once you get this done, then you're ready to go on to, you know, eye makeup and lips and all of that. So anyway, I wanted to come on here today and I've been promising you all, you know, this, how I do contouring, and so I wanted to, you know, follow through with this and get this done, and that way you all could see, you know, exactly what I do when I do a full-on contour. So the sides of my nose are a little bit slimmer looking, you know, and you can keep on blending, you know, if you feel like you need to, you know, until you're fully satisfied. And I may add some more highlight right here on the brow bone once I get my brows done and finish my eye makeup. So anyway, got my little ponytail going. My hair's long enough now to where I can get it into a ponytail and on the side and not have it, you know, straggling all down the sides of my face. I'm excited about that. So anyway, I just want to welcome all my new subscribers today. We're so glad to have you as part of the fantastic family. Make sure and you know, stick around with us. We're all about encouraging and helping one another and uplifting one another and cheering each other on. So I want to encourage you to subscribe and hit the little bell, you know, for all the notifications, and to make a comment and like and share and all those wonderful things. So anyway, this is Sister Fantastic from Savannah, Tennessee, saying have a blessed day, a good day. And remember that you are loved, you are special, and you don't have to be lonely, you know, when you've got friends on YouTube that you can interact with. Okay? All right, well, we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.